is going on, guys? JD from New York, WWE Monday Night Raw review last night, January 20th, 2014, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble as we head into Sunday's pay-per-view. And guys, you know what the deal is. I don't even have to say it. Fuck those other guys. Fuck those other guys. This right here is your number one source for all your WWE news, opinions, everything you need regarding the WWE. This will be the place for you in 2014. Now, Monday Night Raw, Dayton, Ohio, the Nutter Center, the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. If you guys remember, which I'm sure most of you don't, the Nutter Center from Dayton, Ohio was actually the home of one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time when I was just a very small JD. The Nutter Center actually held the 1993 King of the Ring, where Bret Hart defeated Bam Bam Bigelow in an epic night to win the first ever pay-per-view King of the Ring. 1993. That's when he started his feud with Jerry the King Lawler. Now, this pay-per-view is special to me, and I can't wait to relive all this on the WWE Network. Bret Hart fought Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, and then Bam Bam Bigelow all on the same night. What he went through with Mr. Perfect was unbelievable. 20-plus minutes in a second-round match for the King of the Ring. I thought Mr. Perfect was going to win the King of the Ring that year. But Bam Bam Bigelow had the easiest fucking time in this tournament. He defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan easily in the first round. He actually got a bye in the second round because Tatanka and Lex Luger won a 15-minute draw in probably what is the greatest King of the Ring match ever. Ever. That match was unbelievable. And then Bigelow went right into the third round, the finals, because that was a draw. He had nobody to fight in the second round. So, Bret fought Ramon, Perfect, and then Bigelow. Bigelow was fresh. Everybody thought Bigelow was going to win. That wasn't the case. Bret Hart actually overcame all the odds, won the King of the Ring, and that's when he started his feud with Jerry the King Lawler, leading into SummerSlam that year, where Jerry Lawler was just a coward. And then come SummerSlam, he hired Doink the Clown to fight Bret Hart at SummerSlam. Bret ran through Doink in a 20-minute match. Jerry the King Lawler came out on crutches. And then all of a sudden, as Bret defeated Doink, he took off all his crutches and bandages and actually sneak attacked Bret, and he had another match that same night with Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, storytelling like that, WWE really needs to go back on what they did right back in the early 90s. That's when WWE was at the top of their game. And why do I mention all this? Well, simply because the Nutter Center was the home of Monday Night Raw last night. But WWE, there's no surprises anymore in the WWE. There's no surprises. And I mentioned this on Twitter last night. Last night we seen the return of Batista, the Animal. He's back after a 4-year absence in the WWE. He looks amazing. He's in the best shape of his life. These guys go away from WWE, they do what they gotta do, and then they come back, and these guys just look amazing. Batista looked like a fucking, he was at the top of his game last night. Look-wise, physique-wise. But Batista coming back last night, and with having everyone know that he's coming back on the 20th of 2014, January, it took out the element of surprise. It actually affected his comeback. And like I said, I mentioned this on Twitter. If Batista came back with absolutely nobody knowing, with absolutely no heads up, we all would have been, holy shit, Batista is back. But no, WWE sends out advertisements for the show, and these fucking venues and arenas leak the information, and they tell us that Batista's coming back on such and such date. And it ruins the fucking element of surprise, and it affected his comeback last night. There was nothing special about Batista's comeback last night. Yes, I'm going to agree with every one of you. It's great to see him back. It is great to see him back in the WWE. It's great to see him back in a main event scene for the WWE Championship. It's all great. But when Daniel Bryan, who's been white hot, hotter than fucking a million suns, is on your roster and comes out this week, last night on Raw, and gets a bigger reaction than Batista's return after 4 years, that only says two things. Number one, you fucked up with Batista's return. And number two, Daniel Bryan is bigger than Batista right now. Which is true. Daniel Bryan is bigger than Batista if he's getting a bigger pop for, than Batista after a 4-year absence. It's just something not right there. Batista should have came back completely unknown to everybody. Completely unknown. He didn't do anything in the ring last night when he first came back. He was in the introduction with Randy Orton, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon. Randy Orton attacked John Cena's father last week. We all know. He attacked an innocent man. And he's upset because he thinks it's unfair that he's got to fight John Cena again at the Royal Rumble. Triple H and the Authority and Stephanie and everybody else is putting him in a rematch against John Cena. They're building this up as the most important rematch in recent memory. Which is probably true. Okay? Because there really hasn't been that much of a high-caliber WWE Championship scene besides what John Cena and Daniel Bryan did at SummerSlam. But before that and after that, there was really nothing. But Triple H said, Randy Orton, you fucked up. Okay? You fucked up. You attacked an innocent man last week who did absolutely nothing but try to watch his son in the ring. Okay? Innocent. Defenseless. It's a cowardly act. He's taking all his frustrations out on everybody around him because he's upset that he's got to defend the WWE Championship. And then Stephanie goes on to say, listen, if you don't clear all this up, all your mistakes up, you won't have to worry about fighting John Cena. You won't have to worry about defending the WWE Championship. You won't even have to worry about having a fucking job after the Royal Rumble. Or now, whenever, threatening to fire him. Triple H goes on to say, you need to rectify everything you did last week. You need to apologize to John Cena. You need to rectify your loss to Kofi Kingston, and that's why you're fighting Kofi Kingston again tonight in the main event, which I thought they were actually going to make a WWE Championship match, but they didn't. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But then Batista comes out and states that he is there for one reason. And we all know why he's there. Why is Batista back in the WWE? A fucking moron can figure out why he's back. He's back because he wants to win the Royal Rumble. He wants the main event WrestleMania 30. He wants to win the WWE Championship. It's not rocket science. We know why he's back. Even that felt lame to me. It's great to see him back, but there was no surprise. There was no, there was nothing behind it. We know why he's back. And then he looks at Randy Orton and walks away. He poses for the crowd for about 5 minutes, kisses the ring, hugs Triple H, hugs Stephanie, and that's it. Yay, Batista's back. Okay, Batista's back. We know why he's back, but that's it? That's all? That's all you're giving us, WWE? Batista's back because we know he's coming, and it's all fucked up. That's why if it was an element of surprise, if we knew that he was not coming, and he came out on his own volition and interrupted Monday Night Raw, oh my God, Batista is back. Why is he here? What does he want? Is he throwing his name into the Royal Rumble? See, that would have been better. That would have been better. Even if it was an element of surprise, we still would have known why he was coming back. But if we knew he was going to be there for like 3 weeks now, what are we anticipating? The only thing that works in the WWE's favor here is Batista's back. Ratings are going to go up because people are going to see, oh, you know what? Batista's going to be on Raw tonight. Let me tune in to see Batista. And it's going to make WWE money because they know he's going to be at the Royal Rumble. But you could have had him come out before the Royal Rumble and still make it an element of surprise. Fuck the ratings. Who gives a fuck about ratings now? You're selling a pay-per-view. If everybody's seen Batista's going to be in the Royal Rumble, obviously, you know what? I'm going to buy this pay-per-view for $60 because I want to see Batista. I missed Batista for 4 years. He's going to be there. I'm going to see him wrestle. I think the WWE really fucked up here. And like I said, the element of surprise would have made this return, so much better. And then he comes out later on in the night, and Alberto Del Rio fought Rey Mysterio again in a boring match. Batista comes out. There was a lack of pop there because nobody gives a fuck about Del Rio. Again, it's great to see Batista, but he delivered a low-effort powerbomb and a low-effort spine buster. The Batista bomb, I thought it was he lifts him up and it's a sit-down powerbomb. He goes into the sit-down position. What he did last night was a last ride. I didn't know the Batista bomb turned into the last ride. If you guys, recall, the last ride is the Undertaker's powerbomb. But it was great to see him back in the ring. Great to see him in action. Great to see him shut Del Rio up until the Royal Rumble. It was good to see, but there was nothing behind it. There's no excitement behind it. I don't know how you guys felt, but it wasn't exciting for me. You know, I just sat there watching, okay, Batista's back. Okay, he powerbombed Del Rio. Okay, he's here for the WWE Championship. Okay, he's in the Royal Rumble. Okay. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to fucking jump for joy? I'm supposed to fucking start crying like a little girl? I mean, Batista's back. Okay. I don't even want him to win the Royal Rumble. He's back. What is he back for? What are you gonna utilize? How are you gonna utilize him? You know? He's here for 2 years. Right now is not his time. I'm glad he's back, but right now is not his time. WWE is booking my hopeful to win the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan, in a match with Bray Wyatt. Daniel Bryan did indeed have a concussion. Justin LaBar from WrestleZone.com was on Twitter last night commenting to fans. I said to another guy, another random tweet, listen, I don't think Daniel Bryan has a concussion. I actually think it's a work just for WWE to set him up for something bigger. Justin LaBar got back to me, said actually he did have a concussion, number one. Number two, he was actually cleared to wrestle. He passed his concussion tests. They're keeping him off TV. They're keeping him off the house shows, and they're keeping him out of the ring up until the Royal Rumble so that he's good to go. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I thought it was all the work. But the WWE last night booked Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan for the Royal Rumble. Now, what I think is going to happen, and I'll save this for Behind the Mic, which I'm going to be doing this week, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to give you my Royal Rumble predictions and what I think is going to happen at the pay-per-view. But Daniel Bryan being in a match with Bray Wyatt doesn't mean he's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan will be in the Royal Rumble. He's on the fucking poster, for crying out loud. He will be in the Royal Rumble. If Cody Rhodes and Goldust is fighting the New Age Outlaws on the pre-show and they're all in the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan is in the Royal Rumble. Okay? If Big Show's fighting Brock Lesnar, they're both in the Royal Rumble. That's how it was back in the early days. You know? If you fight on the undercard, you know, that doesn't automatically eliminate you from actually getting a shot in the Royal Rumble. That would be unfair. That would be unfair. The only people that are not going to be in the Royal Rumble is Randy Orton and John Cena, because they're in the WWE Championship match. But Daniel Bryan will be in the Royal Rumble. He is my choice to win the Royal Rumble. It only makes sense. But Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt is booked for the Royal Rumble officially. And Daniel Bryan gave his explanation to why he was with the Wyatt family. It really didn't make any sense to me, and I'm not even going to talk about it because it still doesn't even make sense to me why he was even in the Wyatt family. It did nothing. It did nothing but push back the push that WWE was giving Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Luke Harper. It did fantastic things for Daniel Bryan, so I guess it was a 50-50. It was a double-edged sword. Daniel Bryan is the hottest he's ever been right now. And, you know, these Midwest crowds, Ohio and fucking all these you know, middle-of-the-line states here in the United States, they don't appreciate the WWE like the West Coast and the East Coast do. You know? The crowd last night was a little weak. For Batista, they were a little weak. They were, compared to Rhode Island the week before, or last week, you know, the crowd for Daniel Bryan was very, very down from what it was. I mean, they still went crazy for Daniel Bryan, but it wasn't like Rhode Island. I mean, that was just fucking off the charts epic. But Daniel Bryan gave his explanation to why he was in the Wyatt family. It doesn't make any sense to me, and like I said, I'm not even going to talk about it. Because it doesn't make sense. It's over. It's done. He's going to go through Bray Wyatt, and that's it. That's it. It's over. Bigger things are ahead for Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania. CM Punk. This is another thing I talked about last night on Twitter. My brother even agreed. He texted me. And this is going back to the way that the old school mentality thinks. When you watch the Royal Rumble, right? When you watch the Royal Rumble, you get 3 or 4 matches on the undercard, and then you get 1 hour plus, which boils down to maybe 1 hour and 20 minutes. Back in the day, it was an hour and a half, because every 2 minutes, people came out, and they lowered that down to a minute and a half. I really wish they would change that back to 2 minutes. But back in the day, when you watched the Royal Rumble, everyone was glued to the TV. Everyone was glued to the TV when Howard Finkel said, "Now, let's all find out who drew number 1." It gives me chills just even fucking talking about that. When Howard Finkel, you know, said that in the middle of the ring, we were all like, "Oh my God, who's number 1? Who the fuck's number 1?" Last night, they fucked that up for the old school WWE guy. And I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen because it only made sense storyline-wise. The Authority is going to throw everything that they can at CM Punk. Everyone who's working for Triple H is going to try and fuck him. Everybody but Triple H and Stephanie. That's going to be towards WrestleMania. But what Kane did on SmackDown, he chokeslammed CM Punk. Stephanie said, Kane, you're a figure of authority now. You can't be putting your hands on WWE wrestlers. She wanted him to apologize, which he did. Punk said, fuck you, pretty much. Attacked him, and Kane went to the back. Brad Maddox came out, issued a challenge for CM Punk. He fought Billy Gunn. He defeated Billy Gunn. I love that the New Age Outlaws are back, by the way. He defeated Billy Gunn, and then Kane comes out after Punk stands victorious over Billy Gunn and says, hey, Punk, all the numbers in the Royal Rumble have already been drawn, except for one. You will be number one in the Royal Rumble on Sunday, and that just fucking pissed me off. The element of surprise, again, is ruined by WWE. Thank you very much, Vince. Greatly appreciated. Good job. Why would you go and do that? Why would you go and do that? Why would you have Kane in a storyline go out and say, Punk, you're number one in the Royal Rumble? I want to be surprised when I sit down to watch the Royal Rumble. Who's going to be number one? Who's going to be number two? Who are going to be the first two guys to start off the Royal Rumble? Date back to when Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble in 1992. He drew number three. Number three. Ted DiBiase was I think, number one. And then I think the British Bulldog was number two. Right? I believe it was those two. If I'm wrong, correct me, somebody. I don't know. But I know Ted DiBiase was one of them. Ric Flair drew number three, and everybody was like, oh my God. The self-proclaimed world champion drew number three. He's in this Royal Rumble to throw his hand in this match and become the WWE champion. Or then the WWF champion. He lasted number three all the way up until the end when he eliminated Sid Vicious. That was that. Ric Flair drew number three and won the Royal Rumble. It was the element of surprise to see someone of the caliber of wrestler like Ric Flair draw number three. That's it. The element of surprise is gone. It's gone. I don't want to know who is in the Royal Rumble when before the Royal Rumble actually happens. I don't want to know who drew what number before the event actually takes place. It ruins the whole fucking thing. It really does. I hate that they did that. I really do. And that was one of my gripes about last night's show. The other gripe about last night's show is everything I just talked about. The element of surprise. This is pretty much what the basis of this commentary is. The element of surprise is gone. The WWE fucked up last night. The go home show wasn't exciting. Batista's return wasn't exciting. It's great to see him back. I'm glad he's back. But it wasn't exciting. The element of surprise wasn't there. Daniel Bryan, great to see. The crowd really wasn't into it last night. I don't know. But he's booked against Bray Wyatt. I'm going to save all my fucking thoughts for behind the mic. But John Cena and Randy Orton again, and this is another thing that fucking pissed me off. You got Batista coming back, yet you got a fucking cameraman, storyline-wise, sitting back there watching the back entrance of who's coming in and who's going out of the arena. That should have been done for Batista. If you wanted to fucking have him come in. No, you have John Cena come in? You're fucking waiting for John Cena to arrive? Like he's not already there? I mean, give me a fucking break. And then that's how you end the go-home show? You have the go-home show end because Randy Orton escaped? He got himself... he actually won by disqualification because John Cena ran in from the outside into the arena and attacked Randy Orton. So Randy Orton escaped like a coward, goes, gets into a fucking... A vehicle of some kind. I don't know who the fuck it was. I don't know who was driving. I don't know if he hijacked the vehicle or whatnot. I mean, Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole were joking around. Who the fuck's car was that? And then he just drives away. John Cena standing in the cold, goes back into the arena, starts posing. And that's the way they end the go-home show. And there's nothing exciting about that. I mean, that's how you end a go-home show for the Royal Rumble? Yes, I know John Cena's fighting Randy Orton for the WWE title. But that doesn't really make people want to see the match any more than they already did. Nobody's buying this pay-per-view to see that match anyway. People are buying this pay-per-view to see the Royal Rumble. I don't know. WWE kind of fucked up last night. I mean, like I said, the element of surprise, it was just eliminated last night. Batista, the element of surprise, was eliminated with Punk being named number 1 in the Royal Rumble. I don't like when shit like that happens. It really fucking pisses me off. But I'm glad to see Batista back. I'm fucking excited as all hell for the Royal Rumble. I'm off from work. I'm going to be obviously reviewing it after the show. I'm going to enjoy my fucking Sunday afternoon, and we're going to enjoy the Royal Rumble. I can't wait for the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. Fuck WrestleMania, fuck SummerSlam, fuck the Survivor Series, fuck the Big Four. This is the pay-per-view that starts it all. This is the introduction. You're getting in the car and you're driving on that road to WrestleMania. This is it. This is it. Royal Rumble 2014. Going to be a great fucking show. Undercard is great. The Royal Rumble match is going to be great. Star-studded. Back to 30 men. Fuck the 40-man Royal Rumbles that they did. Fucking bullshit. Royal Rumble this year is going to be great. And I can't wait for it. Behind the mic, I'm going to be doing either today I'll record it or I'll record it tomorrow. But I'm going to try and post it sometime between today and tomorrow. I'm going to give you my Royal Rumble preview and predictions. I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think is going to happen in all the matches. And I'm going to tell you who I think is going to be in the final 4 of the Royal Rumble. You're not going to want to miss this one, guys. If you want to hear my predictions and previews and my thoughts on the Royal Rumble, and just give you a brief synopsis of my thoughts and why I love the Royal Rumble, this is going to be a great commentary. But if you enjoyed the show, guys, let me know down below. Let me know what you think about Batista's return. Let me know what you think about Punk drawing number 1. Are you upset about it? Is the element of surprise gone in WWE? Is it gone? Did that upset you last night? It certainly did for me. But if you guys enjoyed, obviously you know what to do. Like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe. JD is about 60 away from 10,000 subscribers in over a year. A little bit over a year I've been on here. I'm at 10,000 subs. It's a fucking unbelievable feeling. But if you guys enjoyed, obviously you know what to do. Leave me your comments down below. I'll be back with Behind the Mic, like I said. So look out for that. I will certainly let you know. If you guys are not following me on Twitter, please do so down below. Links are there. Follow me on Twitter. It's the easiest way to get a hold of me. Easiest way to let you know about all my videos. And, if you want to know what I'm thinking, when I'm thinking it, Twitter is the best way. All right, guys, I'll see you on Behind the Mic. Take care, and I'll talk to you all very soon.